Hello, how are you all? My 12th standard geniuses, I would like to say. So, welcome again with English. Prose, we are having Ekam Kasati again for you all with one poem and one chapter. You might have gone through it, but let's go with the text on page number 48. Indigo, about the order. Louis Fifth, 1896 he was born, and in 1970 he passed away. Was born in Philadelphia. He served as a volunteer in the British Army between 1918 and 1920. Fisher made a career as a journalist and wrote for the New York Times, the Saturday Review, and for European and Asian publications. He was also a member of the faculty at the Princeton University. The following is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. The book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by Times Educational Supplement. So here some incident about our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji. I would like to start our lesson. So when I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram, it is in Ahmedabad, you might have gone through it, in central India, he said, I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1917. So he visited Gandhiji in ashram and he talked about the departure of the Britishers, as you all have gone through in your 9th, 10th, 8th standard in your SS sections. He had gone on to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress party in Lucknow. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors. During the proceedings, Gandhi recounted, a peasant came up to me, a peasant. Peasant means a worker, a farmer, we can say, a person who works in a farmer, in a farm. We can indicate him or her as a peasant, a farmer. Came to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor and emaciated. Poor and little bit of timid means scared, we can say that little bit frightened. And said, I am Rajkumar Shukla, I am from Champaran, and I want you to come to my district. As there were many delegates over there, many visitors over there, a person came to me, a peasant came to Gandhiji, and told, I am from Champaran and you have to visit our district. Gandhi had never heard of the place. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. Under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. Sharecroppers means shading crops. They were shading crops. A land that is in shade, and then it has been shading. One shade of this person, one second person, third person, like this. And Rajkumar Shukla was of them. He was illiterate but resolute, very eager, we can say. Not revolutionary type of person, but he was resolute. He had come to Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody has probably said, speak to Gandhi. At that time, we all know what were the conditions of that particular time by the landlords. Till today, some districts of Gujarat also, in Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. Landlords are, you can go through films also, it has been shown like this in movies, in serials about their behavior and their virtues. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in the Kanpur and was also committed to go to other parts of India. Gandhi told that I have to go here and there other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram for weeks. He never left Gandhi's side. He wanted Gandhi over there. He wanted Gandhiji to be at Champaran, at his place. So wherever Gandhiji went, he used to follow him. Fix a date, he begged. He begged, fix a date. Can you all translate this thing? Fix a date, he begged, into indirect form of narration. 4 marks you will get for this thing in your 12th examination, and English is a part you are subject to. So I would like my dear boys and girls to go through this grammatical section also. If you don't, ask to somebody, I don't know grammar, I am sorry for that. Impressed by the sharecroppers, tenacity and story, Gandhiji said. Gandhiji was impressed by his behavior as he was thoroughly with Gandhiji. I have to be in Calcutta on such and such a date. Come and meet me and take me from there. Gandhiji then told, okay, I'm happy, I'm pleasant, I'm impressed. I will be on so and so date to Calcutta, and then you come to Calcutta and take me with you. Months passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches at the appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. He waited till Gandhi was free. Then the two of them boarded a train from the city of Patna in Bihar. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became president of the Congress party and of India too. So Shukla took Gandhiji to Bihar in Patna, and then they met a person named Rajendra Prasad, who later became our first president of India. This much of IQ you must know about this thing. But the servants knew Shukla as a poor young man who pestered their master to have the indigo sharecroppers, so they let him stay on the ground with his companion. Servant don't know. They didn't know. They didn't knew, we can say, that Gandhiji was there with Shukla. So they let him to stay on the ground. Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant, and they thought Gandhi might be the another peasant like Shukla. But Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. How did they know that he was not an untouchable? Another aspect of life regarding it continuity today, untouchability. So they didn't let Gandhi to get water from the well. Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, to obtain more complete information about the condition that Shukla was capable of imparting. He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of Arts College in Muzaffarpur, whom he had seen at Tagore Shantiniketan School. The train, after looking at the scenario of this untouchability, the peasant was not taken to the Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and this all scenario. After going through, Gandhiji decided, let me go in depth to the conditions. So he telegraphed to the other person and arrived at midnight, 15 April 1917. Kripalani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in home of Professor Malkani, a teacher in a government school. It was an extraordinary thing in those days. Gandhi commented for a government professor to harbor a man like me. In smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. So Gandhiji was we can say surprised that a government person he used to stay with a professor with him apart. At that time people disliked the lawyers and government officials at that time in 1917. The news of Gandhi's advent and of the nature of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance to see their champion. And when they knew that Gandhiji is going to come to visit over there, the champion, as before 1917, Gandhiji became more popular in India because of his inviolence steps regarding the government and many good deeds that Gandhiji had done for us. So people started gathering from other states and everywhere. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They frequently represented peasant group in court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fees. And then what happened? A group of lawyers, they also joined Gandhiji, and this case has been kept in front of court regarding the fees that the government used to collect from them and the fees of the lawyers too. Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fees from the sharecroppers. Even Gandhiji scolded one type of saying. We cannot directly say that Gandhiji told not to take this much of it, but he explained about the sharecroppers and the conditions to the lawyers. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to low courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good, where the patients are so crushed and fear-stricken. Low courts are useless. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. Gandhiji explained them that this going in court and giving big fees and fear of courts and peoples and advocates and officials and many particular we can say government servants. Instead of that, make them fearless. Make them vanish their fear. Most of the arable land in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. As the problem was that most of the land was within the Englishmen and our people, Indian people, used to work as tenants in those land. The chief commercial crop was indigo. The landlords compelled all tenants to plant 3/20 or 15% of their holding with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. This was done by long-term contract. The all land was held by the landlord. Only 15% of that land was owned by the farmers, local farmers over there, and they have to pay large duties too. Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. They thereupon obtain agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 50% arrangement. Then they came to know that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. So again they were compelled to pay more taxes, more fees, more money for their 50% of. The sharecropping arrangement was exorbitant to the peasant and many signed willingly. Those who resisted engaged lawyers. The landlords hired thugs. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed and they wanted their money back. So it has been told by the landlord that we are going to chew new indigo, a form of Germany, and for that they need money. The landlord was not returning the money, so somewhere in courts, and later all the news spread over it to every peasant, and they demanded money from the landlord. At this point, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. He began by trying to get the facts first. He visited the secretary of the British Landlord Association. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. Gandhi answered that he was no outsider. So Gandhiji then tried. He knew about the situations of the peasant. What were the situation? How the Britishers, how the Englishmen used to do all these things, you can say harass them, play mischief, and to get the amount. So he went to the British Commission over there and the secretary over there, and secretary told that I will not give any information to the outsider. Gandhiji told, I am an Indian, I am insider, not outsider. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner of the Trehat division in which the Champaran district lay. The commissioner, Gandhi reports, proceeded to bully me and advised me for me to leave it. And even the commissioner was not a good person. He advised Gandhiji, he trusted him to leave the place over there. Next, Gandhiji did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhiji. Vast means lots of people. Vast multitude means, lots of people. Multi colors we are having. This all things. So multitude greeted Gandhi. He went to a house and using it as headquarters, continuing his investigations. A report came in that a peasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. Gandhi decided to go and see. He then investigated all the situations, all the cases we can say in our language. And he came to me that a peasant was mistreated, and he went over there to see. The next morning he started out on the back of an elephant. He had no proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town. In his carriage, Gandhiji was going on elephant. And a British messenger, a soldier, a police, we can say, message to him that you have to return back. Gandhi compiled the messenger, drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. He noticed Gandhiji to leave Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. Gandhiji, as you know, a freedom fighter, he refused to go back He signed the letter. In consequence, Gandhi received a summons to appear in court the next day. In reply, Gandhiji got a summons. Summons means a particular call from the court that you have to be in court for a particular day. This all has been known by you. All night Gandhi remained awake. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. He sent instruction to the ashram. He wired a full report to the viceroy. He wired. What does it mean? He telephoned. At that time, telegram was there. As you know, telegram, it was being used by people of the world. Recently, it has been existed from us, but a superb facility. So even he waited the whole night. He called Rajendra Prasad and many other officials, and he wired to the viceroys too. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. The next day, lots and lots of people arrived. They don't know about Gandhiji. They don't know about the movement that had worked in South Africa by Gandhiji. But they knew that a Mahatma is a person who used to help, and now he is in trouble due to the officials. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of the British. And this gathering was the foundation against the fear of the British. The official felt powerless without Gandhi's cooperation. He helped them regulate the crowd. He was polite and friendly. He was giving them concrete proof that their might, hitherto dreaded and unquestioned, could be challenged by Indian. And even the police, the officials needed Gandhiji's help because he was a loyal person, liberal person, calm person. And when the official knew about this, or public was fiercely opposing them, they need Gandhiji's help. And hitherto dreaded and unquestioned could be challenged by, and they knew that this question will be challenged by the Indians. The government was baffled. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. Apparently, the authorities wished to consult their superior. The case was in full form. Gandhi protested against the delay. He read a statement pleading guilty. He was involved, he told the court, in a conflict of duties. On the one hand, not to set a bad example as a lawbreaker. On the other hand, to render the humanitarian and national service for which he had come. He disregarded the order to leave, not for want of respect for the lawful authority, but in obedience to the higher law of our being, the voice of conscience. He asked the penalty due. The case came in court. The official thought, let it go longer and longer. But Gandhiji, as you all know, he protested. He made the law because, as you all know, he was a barrister. He was a vakil. He was a lawyer too. So he gave the awfulness of law regarding how law must be conducted, what are the duties of the court, everything, and he protested this thing. The magistrate announced that he would pronounce sentence after a 2 hours recess and asked Gandhi to furnish bail for those 120 minutes. Gandhi refused. The judge realized him without bail. He told this process, this case will run after lunch or dinner or whatever time. And he told Gandhiji that you have to give bail. Gandhiji refused, but later on the magistrate have to free him without bail. When the court recanted, the judge said he would not deliver the judgment for several days. Meanwhile, he allowed Gandhi to remain at liberty. Later, the judge announced that the judgment will be given after several days. Also, meanwhile, he allowed Gandhi to remain at liberty. Means he could go. So, superb incident of 1916-70 at that time, how Gandhiji leaded over to Champaran about for the peasants, for the rights of the peasants. He fought in court too, and what happened? We will continue this session in the next session too. Little bit you will feel bored about this thing, because nowadays you are running back towards to physics, chemistry, maths. But I'm sorry, English is also a part of your subject, as you all know. Till then, I would like to thank you.